a series called Take Charge of Your Life. Say, take charge of my life.
Take charge of my life.
I'm going to take charge of my life.
Take charge of my life.
Good. Great. So the last couple of weeks, the last couple of weeks, we have been naming champions that we have found out. It started with the Olympics, and we had Sydney McLaughlin-Lavroni was one of our champions. I think we did Lou Holtz was one of our champions. We even picked Corey Ten Boom last week as one of our champions. So this week, I have chosen. Can you pull them up? Freaking speed demons! Freaking speed demons!
Okay, take two. We out here getting it, baby. Let's go. Love you.
Aww.
Here I go again on my own.
Okay, Desiree.
Mom, don't post this on Facebook. This is our, that's our, nope, one more. We got this. These are my champions in my life.
Aww.
All right.
That's my son. You can do that. That's my son. You guys know Desiree.
Desiree, woo!
Yeah, so they are my champions. And just so you know, I talk about my little granddaughter who calls me Emma. Emma. She right there. It's right there. So if you hear her yelling out Emma, you know that's her. That's the one. And that's McKenna and Ava and Miss Hillary, who you saw freaking speed demon running with. Listen, and she's not even a runner. She's out there trying to get it. So they're the champions that I picked. You know, they run half marathons now together. I think this was
The third.
fourth, your third. Yes. We're going probably to Chicago in the spring. Our title is Don't Quit. Don't quit. You can't run 13 miles till you run a mile. Right? You got to start somewhere, but you can't quit is the thing. You can't quit. You got to keep on going. And so when Desiree first started running and was on her wellness journey, you know, she probably didn't say, I think I'd like to run 13.1 miles. She probably didn't start off like that. She probably started off saying, I think I'd like to try to run a mile. You know? So don't quit. Don't quit. That's what we're talking about. Don't quit. That's my topic today. So no matter what, even when it's hard, even when there's a storm, even when you're frustrated, even when you're worn out. And I saw this on Facebook this week. Even when you're tired, we don't quit. It said, I don't quit when I'm tired. I quit when I'm done.
All right.
That's a word. That might have been for me, but that's a word. Don't quit. I'm not quitting until I'm done. I want to finish what I start. I want to, I went over a couple of these last week a little bit, and you get to hear them again, because they're still really good. So we want to finish what we start. So if you started something, we want to finish it. You know, how many of y'all are finishers? So look to your neighbor and say, I'm a finisher.
I'm a finisher.
I'm a finisher.
I'm a
I
finisher.
finish what I start. I finish what I start. So no matter what you started, I want you to finish. So finish what you start. This is about don't quit. Do what you say you're going to do, even if you don't want to now. If you said you were going to do it, we've talked about this a couple times throughout the series. If I said I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it. Now I could have said I wanted to do it, and I really thought I wanted to do it, and at the time I wanted to do it, but then when it came time to do it, I don't really want to do it. Right? Do it anyway. Do it anyway. Finish what you start. Do what you say. It's about integrity. It's about honor. So now I'm just very careful about what I say yes to. Right? I don't say yes quickly like I used to. I don't commit to things that I don't know if I can complete it and finish it. So I am very careful now because God made me do everything that I suggest to. You can't call off. Can't act like you're sick. Oh, Desiree has a headache. I can't come. None of that. You gotta go. And so I've learned to be very careful about my yes. And so it helps me not to quit. You know what I mean? It helps me not to look bad. I want you to leave well. We talked about this last week a little bit. I want you to leave well. What that means is, you know, that job you were so happy and thankful to have a while ago that now has pissed you off and you can't stand them and you don't want to work there anymore, so you just don't show up anymore? No. That's not okay. Remember, these people took a chance on you, offered you something that you were so happy to have. Don't let them change you. Okay? If you're going to leave, do it well. You never want to burn a bridge. Do you know that I quit Bob Evans back in 1900s? Back in the 1900s. That's when I was born. 1900s. Back in the 1900s. And when I came to recovery and I went back to try to get a job at Bob Evans, you know what they told me? You're banned from working here ever at any Bob Evans in this whole country. Leave well. I really needed a job at that time. You know, and Bob Evans was perfect because I'm in recovery and they don't serve alcohol, and so people tip well there because it's just regular good food, you know, and I couldn't get a job at Bob Evans because I didn't leave well. I want to leave well. I want to leave well. I also say that if somebody lends me their car, I try to give it back washed and full of gas.
All right.
Except for my son. This is hybrid, so whatever. I don't know how to do that yet. But if you're so kind to let me borrow your car, I want to give it back to you better than you gave it to me. Okay? I want to wash it and I'm going to fill it up for you. Okay? And you might think that's extra. Hey, God is extra. And you know what? I bet if I need it again, you probably will be like, oh, absolutely. Here, I need gas anyway. Here, please take my car. If I stay at someone's house, I try to leave it better than I found it. When we go on our vacation homes, we clean it up at least as nice as how it was when we arrived. Okay, I want to leave things the way I got them. And so even in recovery, like, you know, when I go to meetings and I'm the home group member, that room should be nice when I leave it. Do you know what I mean? Like everything should be put away, trash should be taken out. I should leave it well. When I'm in a hotel, I still try to leave it well. And you could say, they pay people for that. Yeah, you know, I still tip too.
All right.
I tip, I put all my towels in a place, you know what I mean, my sheets in a place, like I leave well. I want to shine everywhere that I go, okay? I am so honored to have this life that I have now, that I want to honor God back with everything He puts in my path. Every opportunity He gives me, I want to open the door and shine for Him. So I want to make sure that I leave well. I didn't used to do that, obviously, as I just said. You know, I've been asked to leave many places, didn't leave well. So today it's a goal of mine. The other thing is, if you want to get promoted, let God promote you. He'll do it way better than you trying to strive and claw and scratch your way to the top. Let God promote you. Perseverance. So we said the definition last week. We'll put it up again. Perseverance is continued effort to do or achieve something despite difficulties, failure, or opposition. The action or condition or an instance of persevering, steadfastness. So just when things get hard, people think, oh, I'm not supposed to do that. No. Perseverance is when, even if it's challenging, I'm going to go. Even if it's difficult, I'm going to go. Even if there's a mountain in front of me, I'm going to climb it. Do you know what I mean? Perseverance is continued effort despite challenges and obstacles, no matter how hard it gets. Listen, my problem is I keep fighting when I'm not supposed to still be fighting. So that's kind of mine. But usually people give up at the first sign of trouble. you know. I think we'd have a lot more long-term marriages, maybe, if people had a little more perseverance. You can't give up despite obstacles and challenges. And I'm not talking about toxic relationships, but I'm talking about staying and making it work in spite of challenges and difficulties. I'm a person in long-term recovery. I just mentioned that. Is recovery easy? Who's in recovery here from anything? If you break your leg, you have to recover. Is it easy? No. When you do physical therapy, they cause tension to happen, right? They're causing tension to make you stronger. So perseverance is going to make you stronger. You're going to learn how to overcome some challenges. I have some faith now because God has got me through the storm. Amen. That's how I got faith. I didn't get faith because I was on top of the mountain, it was sunshiny every day, and He was giving me cupcakes. That's not how I got faith. I got faith because I had to go through some stuff, and I had to believe anyway. In spite of, no matter what it looked like, I did not quit, and God got me through. So now I have some faith. That's perseverance. I'm not going to stop unless God says stop. Thomas Edison. Does anybody know how many times the light bulb? 2,774 times before the one that we have now is known and actually work. 2,774 times. Okay, 69th time, I'm done. Give up, I must be supposed to do something else, right? 82nd time, 112th time, 1,200 times, 2,774 times. So until you've done it 2,774 times, I'm going to tell you do it again. I'll be like, do it again. How many times try? Do it again. You know, it's like recovery. What if you gave up the first time you tried it in recovery? Don't give up. Don't give up. I wouldn't be here. Don't give up. Don't quit. John Maxwell, leading author on leadership, has written tons of books. One of the world's best-known communicators out there. Before he wrote his first book, he went to his people and he said, I really feel like I want to write a book on leadership. They said, those kind of books don't sell. He has sold 36 million copies of his books, all of them on leadership. Right? You gotta do your own thing. Find your own way. But don't quit. You gotta press on. Okay, so last week we were telling the story of Joseph. And we started off, I told you about Joseph and his lovely brothers. There were like 11 of them. And they loved him so much. Actually, they could not stand Joseph, and he had a really good relationship with his father Jacob. He was the first child of Jacob and Leah and Rachel. Sorry, and so he was the most beloved. He was like the most beloved son out of all of his brothers, and so the brothers did not care for him at all, and they were always plotting against him. Joseph has this wonderful dream. He decides to tell his brothers. I still don't understand why he did this, but he decided to tell them, hey, I'm going to be great someday, and y'all are going to bow down to me. And that didn't go well. And so they kidnapped him, and they were going to kill him. And they decided, one of the brothers decided, hey, we could actually make some money. So we could sell him and get some money, and we'll tell Dad the animals got to him, and they took back his coat with blood on it and told their dad that the animals had got to him. So Joseph was sold into slavery. Had done nothing but be himself. You know what I mean? Hadn't really done anything to deserve this life that he now had. Was sold into slavery. Was sold to a gentleman named Potiphar, who was a high guard of Pharaoh in Egypt. So now he's in Egypt in a whole different place. Actually does well in Potiphar's house. We read it last week. He did so well in Potiphar's house. I told you, he probably started off in the pig barn, doing the slop and cleaning up pig poop. That's probably where he started. And he had such high favor and did such a good job that he was actually promoted in that household to the main one in charge of all things in that house. In charge of everything. It says that Potiphar only had to concern himself with what he decided to have for lunch, because Joseph took care of every single thing else for him. Then we told you about how Potiphar's wife became attracted to Joseph and was enticing him and kept coming to him and asking him to sleep with her and to be with her, and he kept refusing. And we could kind of already tell it's not going to go well either way. Either way, it's not going to go well. And so she set up a trap, tricked him, and accused him of raping her. Again, this is just a regular nice guy. Didn't deserve this. So the wife tells Potiphar, you know, the slave you brought here, he just tried to rape me. Here's his cloak right here that he left by my bed as proof. Potiphar is furious now, furious. The guy he trusted the most has now done the very one thing that he shouldn't have done. So he ends up putting Joseph in prison. But let's start off. I got some verses. We're going to read it. So we'll start off in Genesis 19, so just to catch you up on where we are, because this is a really good story. It's one of my most favorite stories in the Bible, just because of Joseph's character and the way that he handles all of his challenges. Genesis 39, verse 19. Potiphar was furious when he heard his wife's story, how Joseph had treated her. So he took Joseph, threw him into prison where the king's prisoners were held, and there he remained. Verse 21. But the Lord was with Joseph in the prison and showed him his faithful love, and the Lord made Joseph a favorite with the prison warden. So he's worked his way up now even in the prison. So he's like a trustee. You know, he's got favor there. He's done so well there, and he's so likable that now he has favor. So 22, before long, the warden put Joseph in charge of all the other prisoners and over everything that happened in prison. So no matter where Joseph goes, somehow God's light shines on him. He has favor. But I feel like Joseph takes advantage of every opportunity that comes his way to do his very best that he can, and he just kind of excels no matter where you put him. It's like everything he touches turns to gold. That's who Joseph is. In spite of what has happened to him, I would be bitter, a little resentful. Do you know what I mean? I'd be like, people suck, right? They lie, you know. But he prospers in prison. So verse 23, the warden had no worries because Joseph took care of everything, and the Lord was with him and caused everything he did to succeed. See, God will promote you. You don't got to do it yourself. You live your life doing the right thing. God will raise you up because this is who he has. He has a plan for you. He wants to raise you up. Do you know what I mean? He wants to raise you up. So everything he did succeeded. Genesis 40. Sometime later, Pharaoh's chief cupbearer and chief baker offended their royal master. Pharaoh became angry with these two officials. He put them in prison where Joseph was, in the palace as captain of the guard. There they remained, verse 4, in prison for quite some time, and the captain of the guard assigned them to Joseph. So now Joseph is in charge of the Pharaoh's prisoners. Okay, so that's probably as high as you can get. So they remained in prison for quite some time. Joseph looked after them. Verse 5, while they were in prison, Pharaoh's cupbearer and the baker each had a dream one night, and each dream had its own meaning. One of the things that God has gifted Joseph with is the gift of prophecy. Like he can interpret dreams. He can see the future. So while they were in prison, verse 6, when Joseph saw them the next morning, he noticed that they both looked upset. Why do you look so worried today? He asked them. And they replied, we both had dreams last night, but no one can tell us what they mean. I'm going to jump ahead because it's not really about the dreams. But to say, verse 12, this is what the dream means, Joseph said. Oh, here it is. 3 branches and represent 3 days. Within 3 days, Pharaoh will lift you up and restore you to your position as chief cupbearer. And he says, hey, don't forget about your bro when you get out of here. Don't put some money on my books. Don't give me a good word. Don't forget about your dude. Okay? Well, I'm down here. I'm helping you help me out. So 14, please remember to do me a favor when things go well for you. Mention me to Pharaoh so that he might let me out of this place. For I was kidnapped from my homeland, the land of the Hebrews, and now I'm here in prison, but I did nothing to deserve it. Yeah, bro, I got you. No worries, dude. No worries. I got you. I'm getting out of here. We're going to be dudes together. We got this. No worries. Genesis 41. When 2 full years had passed, Thanks, bro. I mean, I even got you extra food, everything. When 2 full years had passed, Pharaoh had a dream, and he was standing by the Nile. Again, I'm not going to go into the dream. Then the chief cupbearer, so Pharaoh has a dream. He can't figure it out. Nobody can figure out. All his wise people he gets together, his magi, his magicians, nobody can figure out this dream, and it's troubling to him. So, verse 9, the chief cupbearer said to Pharaoh, today I'm reminded, are you with me? We're on verse 9. Let's go, there you go. Then the chief cupbearer said to Pharaoh, today I'm reminded of my shortcomings. Ooh, I forgot about my dude. And so he tells him about Joseph. Hey, there's this guy that I met in prison, and he can tell you what your dream means. He told me about mine, and I'm now here because of what he told me. So it came true for both me and the other guy that I was with. So Pharaoh calls for Joe. Joe, come on, tell me my dream. And so he brings Joseph in and describes his dream to him, and it's actually a dream that's going to save like almost the whole world when Joseph interprets the dream, because it's about plenty and famine that's about to come over Egypt. So Joseph tells him, you know, what this dream means and what they need to do now to prepare for what's about to come. So Genesis 41. Are you with me? There we are. So Pharaoh is so pleased with Joe. So pleased with them, likes hanging out with them, has now built a relationship with them, that here's what happens to Joseph. Verse 41. So Pharaoh said to Joseph, I hereby put you in charge of the whole land of Egypt. Of the whole land of Egypt. Then Pharaoh took his ring from his finger, put it on Joseph's finger, dressed him in his robes of fine linen, put a gold chain around his neck, had him ride in his chariot, verse 43, as second in command, and the people shouted before him, make a way. Thus they put him in charge of the whole land of Egypt. God repaid him for all that he had done, for handling how he handled everything so well, for not quitting, for not getting upset, for not getting frustrated and overwhelmed. God gave favor to Joseph. Now Joseph is in charge of Egypt. Which is quite an honor for a Hebrew. Okay, he's not even from there. But God has blessed him so much and made him ruler over much. Some of the things that we had talked about in our Take Charge series was, you got this. You guys remember, you got this. You got to know who you are and what you got, okay? And what God has called you to. You got to be faithful in the little things. You need to be faithful with the little things. He was given a little bit a little bit of a task in prison, and look where it took him. Do you mean all the way to the top, all the way to the tippy top? Because you might think, I ain't doing that. Why would I do that? I ain't going to do that. Listen, God's watching. He wants to know what you can handle, what you can't handle. We talked about make your bed. Make your bed. It's easy, simple. Let's start there. Just make your bed. And now we're on don't quit. Don't quit, no matter what. Perseverance. We're not going to quit when it gets hard. We're not going to quit when it gets tough. We're not going to quit when we're afraid. And we're not going to quit when the storm happens. We're going to keep going. We are not going to quit. Can we go to Psalms 105:18? I love this verse. This verse helped me even in my recovery. So let me tell you what it says. This is about Joseph. It's written in Psalms. And it says, they forced his feet into shackles. He was put in irons. The footnote says, literally it means his soul came into the iron. His soul came into the iron. So what that tells me is that, you know, when he was going through that really tough time, had those chains of iron on him, it's as he became like the iron in his spirit, that he was strong and had fortitude and wouldn't give up, that he became like iron. Let me read you the commentary. It says, Psalms 105:18 states, they bruised his feet with shackles, his neck was put in irons. This verse refers to Joseph during his time in prison, highlighting the hardships that he faced. The imagery of the iron can relate to how his spirit and soul remained resilient despite his physical bondage. That's what this verse refers to. So when I feel like I just can't anymore, I think of this verse and all that Joseph did and the challenges that he had to overcome, having not even done wrong. I done stuff wrong. You know, and then I had to pay the consequences for it. He didn't even do anything wrong, but his soul became like the iron that was wrapped around him, till he was so tough that nothing was going to stop him or knock him down. So I love this verse. So even like I say, when I was first getting clean, and it was really, really challenging and hard. And I would think, I'm going to do this. I can do this. I'm not going to quit. I'm going to keep going. Perseverance. So I have some key principles for us to help us relate and to help us keep going. Because here's what I want to say. God doesn't want you to quit. He has a really good plan for your life. He doesn't want you to quit. And sometimes, right when it's toughest, your breakthrough is about to come. Your breakthrough is about to come. What do they say in recovery? Don't quit 5 minutes before the miracle happens. You know what I mean? That's what I think. I would be so upset to find out that I was this close on the verge of the healing breakthrough that I needed, and I turned back. And I went back. I don't want to turn back. I don't want to go back. So I want you to stay strong. I'm going to read these. So stay strong. Define what you want to achieve. You're going to have to look at it. Define what you want to achieve. What goal are you trying to set? So like in recovery from addiction, a lot of times we say, let's just be clean today. Let's just do today. If I could get through today. Do you know what I mean? Some people have the goal of like 90 days or 6 months. But let's just even do today. If you're new to the Christian life, do you know what I mean? Like set your goal. I want to read my Bible in the mornings. In recovery for some of us too, we do a morning meditation. I'm going to talk about that in a minute. But I want you to have a goal. If you have a wellness goal, like a weight loss or getting physically healthy, you need to have a goal because when it gets tough, you need to be looking at the goal. Because back there is going to look better if you don't have a goal that you're looking for. When I wanted to quit smoking, my goal was to quit smoking. You know what I mean? I wanted to quit smoking. And that was hard and challenging, and I did everything I could. But I didn't quit. Listen, I didn't quit on recovery. I don't care if you got 17 tries at treatment. I do not care. Do it again. Do it again. Do it again. Do it again till it takes. Do it again. Don't give up. You have fortitude because if you've tried 17 times, something in you has got a don't quit spirit about you. I mean, I was relapse queen, but I must have wanted to be clean because I would not quit. I was going to keep doing it till I got it. I'm going to keep trying till I get it. I ain't going to quit. I'm going to go. When I came here, they said you got to live here for 6 months. That was my goal. So I got a goal. 6 months. Okay. I can do 6 months. It's 6 months. I can do 6 months. But that was a goal they gave me. And even when it was hard, even when I didn't want to stay, even when I felt like everything in me wanted to run around and turn around, and I don't want to be here no more, and I don't want to listen to you people no more, and I ain't paying that money, I wanted to run, but I had a goal.
All right.
My goal was to be here for 6 months.
Amen.
I stayed for almost a year, but God is good. So have a goal. Whatever, people have a weight loss goal. You can have a goal of going to college and getting through college, right? David's goal is to be a social worker, I believe. That's your goal. Well, you're not going to quit year 2 when you have too much homework and the kids are screaming and the bills are due and you're going to try to get through because your goal is to graduate and walk across stage. So you need a goal to stay strong. So set a goal. God has a good plan for you. If you don't know what it is, ask Him.
All right.
He will reveal it to you. And you'll start doing it and not realize, I'm really good at this. This is God's plan for me. So ask God what His plan is for you. He wants you to succeed. I want you to set your mind. I want you to be determined. Because you're going to have to make up your mind in the beginning, I'm not going to give up. You can't decide halfway through because now you're tired, you're worn out, you're frustrated, it's challenging. You have to decide in the beginning, when you set your goal, I'm going to do this. I'm going to accomplish this goal that I want to accomplish. So set your mind. Stay grateful. You got to have a positive mindset. That's part of staying strong. You got to have a positive mindset to reach your goal. Get that right, buddy. So stay grateful. I don't care how you do it. Make a gratitude list. We have some of our people make gratitude lists. I still make gratitude lists sometimes because I get a little icky. I get a little, And I have to start looking for the good things in my life, because the enemy will tell you all this sucks. I don't know why you're doing this. It ain't working. So stay grateful. Get some good people in your corner. You need some people who are going to do this journey with you. Do you know why I was out there cheering in the rain for them? Because you need that in your corner. You need people in your corner saying, you got this, you can do this, don't give up, it doesn't matter. Go, go, go. You got people who believe in you and are going to follow you and help you and be on this journey with you. Get some good people in your life. Don't get people in your life who are going to be like, I can't believe you even trying to do that. I knew you couldn't do that. I knew you couldn't do that. Listen, get out of my corner. Get out of my corner. People said I couldn't do this. We're on 3 years now.
Wow.
I got people in my corner who tell me I can do it now without me. But sometimes you start thinking, maybe I can't. You know? Maybe I can't. No. No. You get some people who tell you that you can, that you got this. We're with you. We're praying for you. We're supporting you. You need some people in your corner.
Amen.
Next one is stay the course. I'm trying to get through my stuff. Stay the course. Stay the course. Like I said, so you have to remember in the beginning what your goal is and then stay the course. A lot of times in recovery, one of the things they tell us to do is, they give us things to do. Do a morning meditation. Get a home group. They want you doing things consistently and the same. Get a routine. You know what I mean? Get a habit going. Because that's going to help you stay the course. If you're just willy-nillying it, the first day that it's raining and you don't feel like going, you ain't going to go. Right? Stay the course. So set your course. Celebrate your progress. Any day clean is a miracle.
Amen.
Any day clean is a miracle. Right? If like I said, even with runners, her goal wasn't to run the 13 miles. Her goal was to run a mile. And she did. Then you need to celebrate that. You mean we just celebrate people who have 4 years in recovery. You need to celebrate your progress. Be good to yourself. Be like, okay, I do got this. Okay. Maybe I didn't get all the way today, but I still did it. I'm still out here. I'm still trying. I'm going to do it again. Right? So you need to be proud of yourself. Every day that you don't quit is a win. Every day that you don't quit is a win. That's a winning day. I don't care what else happened. That's a winning day. Stay the course. Don't let the process change you. So when you don't get it, like I said, when we quit those jobs because it didn't go how we thought it was going to go, don't let it change who you are. You still be the same person. I said, I don't care. When I was trying to turn my life around and change it, I finally just got to the point where I was like, I don't care if it never happens. You know what? I'm still going to love God and I'm going to keep on going. I don't care. It's not going to change who I am. It's not going to change who I am. I'm going to stay the same. I'm still going to be a good person. I'm still going to love God and I'm still going to worship. I don't care if I ever get better. I don't care. I'm not going to quit. I'm going to stay the course. When I worked at Oriana House, the Oriana House was so good to me. I know I talk trash about them sometimes, but they really were good to me. They were really, really good to me. And took a chance on me. And so when I was there, though, in my department, you would see like these people who would come after me, and it was like they just zoomed right on by me to the top. Do you know what I mean? They're being promoted, they're being asked to speak out at places, they're meeting officials, they're doing all these things, and I'm just kind of plodding along and thinking, God, what is going on? Like they aren't even honorable. Like they're kind of sketchy, you know? But like Joseph, I'm gonna keep doing the right thing. I'm gonna keep doing the right thing. I do not care. And they would be like shooting stars. You know how shooting stars, they shoo, shoo, then they're gone. God said cream rises to the top. Cream rises to the top. You just keep on going. Listen, they were so good to me at the end. The only reason Ark Recovery Services is what it is today is because of what Oriana House did for me. How it put me out there in the community. How it let me go out there to speak. How it like put me up on a pedestal so that I could meet all these people, all these agencies, all these officials, all these judges, so that when I came to start Ark Recovery Services, they heard Reba Mccray is starting Ark Recovery Services. Oh, it's good. Send them there. We'll let our people come. Cream rises to the top. Don't quit. Stay the course. You got to have some grit. You got to have some resiliency. I'm closing. Bring up the worship team. I'm getting there. Right, so stay the course, no matter what happens. Last one is, and this is the best one because all of this ties together, you gotta trust God. Trust God. Trust God in His plan for you. That's all we're doing. The same as what I said at Oriana. I just kept trusting God. You know what I mean? He just kept building me up and opening doors, making a way for me. You have to trust God. He's not forgotten you. He's not left you. He's actually most likely waiting on you.
Hallelujah.
He's most likely waiting on you. We're not waiting on God. He's good. Okay? We're not waiting on God. He's probably waiting on you. I think we talked about it a little bit last week where we said, if God would give you what you wanted too soon, the weight of that responsibility would probably crush you. If I hadn't been ready to run our recovery services, if I'd have got it too soon, I wouldn't have been ready. I have to trust God. And I wanted to leave Oriana House a year before I left. I prayed almost every day. Dear God, is today the day? Let today be the day. You stay. I remember laying on the beach in Florida. You know, I could work at Walmart. I'd be all right. I could stay here, work at Walmart. I don't need to go back there. He's like, get up, go home, go back to work. Until he said, you're now released. Do you know what I mean? I waited on God. I trusted God. It's because I know he has a better plan than I had. Listen, I was such a mess when I walked through those doors 17 years ago, all bound up. Do you know what I mean? I know now where I get myself. I'm going to wait on God. I'm going to trust God. And he's actually waiting on me. He's waiting on me to be responsible, to be able to handle the pressure, so that when the storm comes, I'm not going to get blown over. Like we seen some of those trees in the hurricane. They toppled right on over. I want to stand. I'm going to stand. I don't care what you do to me. I'm going to stand until God takes me out. So we want to trust God. Listen, when we were doing the women's house, it took 3 years. So we started this journey, and I showed you guys the picture of the garage of what the women's house used to look like before it was a women's house. And then the beautiful picture of the women's house now. That was a 3-year process. So our goal was to build a house. Okay, this process was so long and cumbersome and challenging and frustrating. You know, we had builders and we had architects and we had zoning people and we had to get land and we had to, you know, we're not house builders. I already told you that. We're not house builders. Like, you know, we run a church. We help people get clean and sober. We don't build houses. God said, you're going to build a house. I want you to build a house. So about 2 years into the process, I walk into Bethel Church and I'm like, I'm about done. I can't. It's too much. This isn't what I do. I don't even know what I'm doing. Can you pull the photo up, please? I walk into Bethel Church. That's the sign on the wall. No, it's a really big sign and it has a lot of other words on there, but I wanted you to see it how I saw when I walked in. The Lord will build a house. Oh, okay, my bad. Of course you will. The Lord will build a house. I just have to trust God. So let's stand, you guys. I want to trust God. Yeah. I'm going to trust God. He will do it. I just got to show up. You mean I just got to show up, be close to Him, love on Him. God has a great plan for you. So what I just want you to remember, let me say what it is. So we're going to stay strong. Say, I'm going to stay strong. Stay strong. I'm going to stay the course.
Stay the course.
I'm going to trust God.
Trust God.
I'm not going to quit. In Jesus' name.